Can't wait to see the audience predictions here with these two tight teams.
Ooh, you know what? Cozy, isn't Sentinels playing in person together as a team as well?
I believe so. I think 100 Thieves and Sentinels, I believe, are together right now. From what I've seen from Twitter, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And if so, wow, that just amps it up even more because I don't know if this team has all been together in person. But here we go. We start off and the respect to Speedery shown immediately. AMER bans? No. You're shutting down Human Torch.
That's actually crazy. That was the immediate reply from the Speedery show. Whether it was the Torch, the Storm again. Let's see what the first Protect, though, is going to be in favor for Envy as they are lingering over that Magneto. No surprise there. So you usually see the Ammo Frost band immediately off the rip. But then now we could possibly see the next band coming in here into play from Sentinels.
We've seen Envy usually use that save on their duelist, not their Vanguard, because they can adjust. They're so flexible. We saw that with FlyQuest all the time. So that's good coaching and scouting from Sentinels. Now just getting rid of that Torch right away, making things uncomfortable, and then they can follow it up with the AMER ban. So things are perfect there for them. They're going to have Crimzo here. Oh, this could be the Black Panther comp they ran.
Oh, is it going to come out? Amazing is hovering over the Black Panther, so I wouldn't be too surprised here. If they save the Captain America, which means here you want to ban the Magneto if you try to let it go through, and it's the Loki they've tried to prioritize instead after what we saw in our last series, I'm not too surprised.
Absolutely. Loki being banned in reverse. We've seen a lot of Kurova on Loki lately. AMER does the same, though, and AMER is going to be kind of that old shot caller. That's her role on the team. Psylocke being banned to show some respect to Sentinels, but Storm, they don't want Speedery on any flyers. They want to shut that down, but you can only ban so many, and guess what? There's 3 of them, so Iron Man just going to be that next man up mentality there for Team Envy. The save, though, going to belong to, it looks like, Luna.
Wow, so no saves on the Magneto here, and it's going to be the Cloak and Dagger and the Captain America instead for favoring of Sentinels. This, again, really different compared to what we've seen a lot of these different compositions rolled out from these teams that get target bans. This is also a team that's very comfortable on the res comp.
Yeah, again, both these teams are just so experienced. And the fun matchup here, I asked AMER, out of anybody, who is your rival in Marvel Rivals? Guess who it is? Kaluj. Kaluj won the MRC with this team of Sentinels and then went to the dark side, if you will, if you're a Sentinels fan, to Envy. And so I know this is the most important matchup. You know, we're always doing 100 Thieves versus Sentinels. No, it's going to be Envy here as we lock in our final picks, our final bans, and Groot being banned for Window. Really going to have to showcase that flexibility, Vicky.
Yeah, because we've seen Window pop off on the Groot. We've seen him having to flex over to that Jeff when we highlighted that Storm Tornado with the Omega Hurricane. But we are playing on this other patch here after nerfing the team up the Omega Hurricane, the amount of time that it takes to get that Omega Hurricane online. So now looking at where we're going to be able to roll out, Speedery's got other tricks up their sleeve, and it's the Wolverine that may be rolling out here.
Yeah, we typically see Cal there on the Wolverine. Speedery, though, taking that spot for now. And, you know, they might have teased that Black Panther. We might be in Wakanda, but they're going to be doing the triple res into Cap, which is such a team of sustain, especially here. And, wow, look at that. 62% for Sentinels. I thought this was going to be a lot closer. And that just really speaks to not only some recency bias, but also the belief behind this team. And honestly, I get it. I've been watching them since Alpha. This team has put in and put out results. And so I see the crowd behind it as we head into Wakanda for match 1.
Sheesh, Sen City, baby. That's what you like to see here for the fans at home that are putting in their own pick'ems here. As we see the tragedy on one of the Black Panther plushies on the floor. Let's get this started. Our very first map, but you're on Domination.
Perhaps some foreshadowing if we do see a Black Panther to play here as teams going in, and we've got the teams locked in. Magneto thing is going to be a great way to counter what I know they're expecting on the other side. Speedery, though, looking to get some first blood action here on Logan.
Just prowling about, waiting for Sentinels to move up from this next choke. Waiting for Nectar to fly by before you isolate the one player you're trying to bring over to your team over by Envy. Kaluch taking a good amount of damage. Nectar, though, with that boost, that power up from Amazing being on the Mantis.
Yeah, Kurova being one of the best Adam Warlocks in the world. It's easy that they love to go to the triple res. And Nectar picking up great where they left off now, getting the elimination on Cal, opening up the floor and the aggression as the team dives in. The mission area is ready. Who's going to start capping it? And no, it's over to Sentinels to begin things. And Nectar just going off to start things.
And literally not getting contested one bit. And then they have to worry about breaking necks if you're Envy. Just try to run for your lives, because then jumping right on top of them is going to be Crimso Techie, though, getting stunned just briefly. Nero, though, with another stun, though. Looks like actually that was Month who had gotten the copy onto the Fate of Both Worlds on this Loki. Loki again just proving to stay on business here as Envy try to push up with that copy, and Nero too, Nectar actually rather good to be able to get protected here from Techie and the bubble of the Magneto.
Just raining from the skies. Great patience there from Nectar, trying to get something rolling, but Nero keeping everybody alive, dropping the beat and trying to keep the team in it as AMER now is spreading that eternal bond and getting the pressure out. That's going to eliminate Cal. No, Nero there. Beautiful stretch. Just pick off AMER with a double from the Terror Cape and Cloak.
Ooh, look at these cameras here too. They are indeed together. You can see the land setup right behind them playing out through this match as they take another team fight win. Nectar going crazy.
First time together, that's going to definitely bring a different sense of teamwork, and I love to see it. They've been playing together so long. To see this team together and show off right away, beautiful as we take a look at both vantage points here. Kurova does have that resurrection ready. Techie can land the purple rain if he chooses to do so. Cal, the only one with the ult on the other side.
Remember what these saves looked like here. That Captain America being prioritized on the other side, though. The Judgment looking point blank at Crimso. They all go down. They all get wiped out. And Cal with the sustainability comes in clutch with Month being on that Loki to move them up.
Good God, I mean, Frank Castle just doesn't ask why. Just how many, just absolute insane justice. That wasn't justice, that was punishment. Served time, beautiful job.
That's why it's called Last Judgment for a reason. That final judgment here instead, the Manta's ultimate overtime ticking away, and Envy have not put a single toe on the line of this point. The Fate of Both Worlds here. Nectar tries to rain from the heavens now. Nero had answered that back, and now Sentinels have the sustainability themselves. AMER here with the Eternal Bond as Cal tries to get into a different angle. The Eye of Agamotto not finding its mark instead as they get some of that tick pressure away thanks to the Eternal Bond from Sentinels.
Yeah, this shows why the triple res comp is so lethal. The ice was close shut, and down goes Kalush with the Meteor M, but the connection's not there. Kurova, Crypto trading. This team is locked in together in person, and they are showing it 99%. This is barely a fight.
Talk about a dominating first round. I love, by the way, Kalush looking to the back, just trying to yeet out that meteor at the mouth of that portal, just in case it can find its mark before finding nobody there. But talk about dominating rollout with their compositions with this res comp.
I mean, Kurova there just getting everybody back, and I mean, that's just what this can do. And even if you have a perfect play, we talked about this with Shroudex and Nemesis back in the group stage, you have to play perfect, especially on domination. You have to eliminate these teams twice, and they're pro players, not easy to do. Nectar, though, gotta give my complete, honestly, clap here, because they looked a little bit shaky in the reverse sweep, completely cleaned it up. 11K, 4 final eliminations, beautiful work.
The enabling too between the Mantis and Kurova, literally the best Adam Warlock, just really helps build in to the sustainability and the pressure coming out from Nectar. Combine that with the Captain America to jump in right alongside you, and you're gonna be able to thrive here. They're literally shoving Envy all the way back closer to their spawn room doors.
Yeah, insane. I mean, if Rivals ever gets a documentary that's going to play, is going to be a cold open. It's just absolute perfect map one there as we have Nectar now picking up where they left off there, putting the pressure on early. We have AMER, Kurova with the sustaining. The ults are charging up and out. Speedery, though, and Month have what they need online. Let's look to see if they can get early aggression.
This is why we see the save on the Captain America right now too, just building in the pressure, allowing the Space Nectar comes into the bubble, gets supported and healed. The Loki from Month, though, keeps the lamps up. After they force that out, though, Amazing is able to kite away with the rest of the team back to the point with the Mantis power up too. Speedery, though, gets into position, has a Dance of Butterflies activated for that next fight in engagement.
Now there, who's been lethal on Hella, throwing out the thorns and getting the important picks, but the passive pops, and Speedery does as well as the team cleans up on 2, but they have their work cut out. No, make it 3 at this point. They are using those res, though. Those passives are being popped. Nectar being able to trade with Neo. Speedery going down, and that's what I'm talking about. You can get rid of them once, but you have to do it twice. Make it 3 times with Kurova in the res.
Dude, the moment you see that Mantis coming right back out of the cocoon and you see them just shooting with everybody else getting res behind the Mantis, top 10 scariest moments you have to worry about in Marvel Rivals, though, dominating another team fight win in favor for Sentinels.
Chris Pratt just applauding somewhere in a grocery store. I mean, who needs Drax and Gamora? You've got the other Guardians, and they're doing it just fine. They've got the ults they need. They've got Crimson ready. This is awesome.
That's the Quill special right here. And the Sentinels they're putting that on full display. Clobbering time coming in. Does find right amazing. Nectar gets stunned just for a temporary amount of time. But the freedom charge from Crimson keeps everybody in their morals alive here for Sentinels to keep up this choke pressure.
Absolutely, here putting that pressure on early. The legendary coming out. That's going to force now Nero to get that fate of both worlds. Now they've got the aggression. They have to push up and get a pick. You've got the Eye of Agamotto, but no, Month goes down. That's a huge stagger for the team now as everybody's going to push in at this point. Aramori, though, playing to perfection. Agamotto going out. Eliminations to follow. And at this point, there's 2. Passives are not ready, so this could be the fight to turn.
Finally, and that's with losing out on Monk, who was going to have the God of Mischief, by the way, for this fight. But the stall is still here, too. The Dance of Butterflies from Speedery just trying to deal the finishing blow. And Crimson, despite all that, still finds that pick onto Kalush before the flip happens.
If it's not the first res from the passive, it's the Animal. If it's not the Animal, it's Crimson staying alive forever. That we've all been there with Captain America in our games. I mean, this comp is so hard to handle. They did it, though. 11%, 87. A rough start.
Literally feels like a wasp whenever you have to deal with a matchup of Captain America. I can't even say bee or fly because that's what, you know, these diving duelists feel like sometimes. But when it comes to Captain America, literally a tank just staying alive, just staggering and stalling for as long as possible. It makes it so difficult, and Crimson is the best to do it.
Yeah, Crimson has just shown time and time again why he's one of the best vanguards here. Here's the thing, and it's going to be Window with the clobbering time and the setup to capitalize. Now, Kurova should have that passive back. Is going to elect to use it, so we've got the reses popping out here. 40% on the build. We have Month now with the Fate of Both Worlds. Amazing is now out of ult. Crimson and Kurova have theirs ready. They've got to find Kurova here to shut this team down, or he's going to rest them back, which we're about to see.
The Karmic Revival just waiting slowly. Kurova takes a lot of pressure. Speedery follows up with Window, and they get that pick. No re-engagement. Just trying to even out the stakes here in terms of percentage.
That's exactly what they needed to do. Born again, no. Gone again. That's, I mean, the perfect play. 65% Speedery knows the assignment to hunt down the Golden God, and he does just that. Now, looking into this next fight, though, Vicky, you've got the Eye, you've got the Dance of the Butterflies, but look at Sentinel starting to charge up.
Not the goodbye again here, sending you back. Maybe Kurova, though, in this next engagement with Nectar, using the Legendary, could send them back in this fight. As Nectar is closing in the distance, needs a little bit of help with the Freedom Charge before diving back into the back lines of Envy. But Nero was waiting, has the Fate of Both Worlds, and Month had already used up the God of Mischief in that last fight. Kalush jumps in, finds the backline on Kurova and Amazing, which means you won't be able to revive just yet unless Kurova can get into a good position to revive themselves. And you got to do it now here in this case.
This is the skirmish that I expected between these two top teams. It looks like Envy's going to cap it back 96 to 96. This is going to be close. Here comes Clobber in time for the cleanup and the combo. And can Cal get this important pick here? No, it's going to be Nectar trading in return. We're Amazing now getting the pressure on. We have portals out. Techie trying to get the team back to it so they can get in. And again, that's just another revive with this triple res. Nectar taking 1v4 at the moment.
And that was with the trades coming in at the very beginning. And Nectar is cleaning up all of Envy from the front lines, from the balcony, before getting re-stabilized. Overtime taken away. And the flip immediately happens with no one here aside for Speedery doing some desperate measures. But overtime now taking away.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be too little, too late as Sentinels are going to take map 1. And my gosh, colors everywhere. My screen looked like a rave hosted inside a firework warehouse. That was insane. What just happened? That was so quick. Sentinels.
What happened was a bunch of golden lights, Kurova doing what the #1 Adam Warlock player does best. Combine that with these Mantis resets out here too. You're just re-engaging consistently with Nectar. Crimzo being on the Captain America. I just mean, like, this is just everything I fear when it comes to facing off against a team comp like this.
we've seen it time and time again. Triple res on domination especially is just one of the hardest things. You can only ban so much out there, and Nectar, they stepped it up when needed. We talked about that being a little bit of some of the weak link that we saw on the film, and just flipping the script there. 21k, 11 eliminations. Hats off, buddy. But yeah, 9k damage there with Kurova, 12k to follow that. The team played great. Envy did well, especially on that second point, but it was too little too late. They want to look to clean up a bit of what they can do there with the Vanguards, but they shut down Speedery. That's the first step to success against Team Envy.
And the issue with that is Speedery doesn't have to worry about getting 1 or 2 picks in that case. It's about having to worry about getting 2 to 3 more with the revival too. So aside from the reses that you have to try to chase down these individual Adam Warlocks, these Star Lords, these Mantises, then you have to try to fixate on helping Peel for your backline, getting some of these follow-ups, and then Crimzo is so busy already just dealing all this pressure in your face.
Yeah, absolutely, just directing the fight. I mean, we've highlighted this, whether it was the MRI and everything on the line. I said, man, this is one of the best teams with the res comp, and that was when it was meta. But now they added the Black Panther comp and this new dive edition, but they also have up their sleeves flyers that either Nectar or Rymazing can play. And Rymazing just going from one of the most lethal duelists in the game to going to Mantis here, and kind of the new Season 2 Mantis that we have, giving them more flexibility. We can stack up the buffs, stack up the healing. There's so much strategy and just top-tier play with triple res at this level. Insane job from the entire team, highlighting Nectar here. 21k damage, insane.
And that's with supporting Nectar with these damage boosts from Rymazing, who also put in like 10k damage just themselves. Combine that with an Adam Warlock sniping your face with a 9.4k damage. Nectar was enabled all the way through here, getting 11 final hits too.
Yeah, I just want to be a fly on that wall in that room with all of them together having a boot camp. Honestly, we might be able to if we interview them, they end up winning, because I know, just imagine just the eruption of joy there. Or knowing them, they're all locked in. They're like, that was business as usual. Let's carry on. I want to highlight again, Aramori, her rivals within rivals for Sentinels was Kaluge, and they just did a great job at it.
And that was with the protection on the Cloak and Dagger and the Captain America. So finding those protects on what you prioritize is how Sentinels is leaning. So it's all about how Envy is going to try to counter this in the pick and ban phase.
Yeah, and I wanted to highlight, we've been giving Crimzo his flowers a lot, but also he's a lot of the brains and the coach behind that team, right? And so to be able to just win so heavily in that pick and ban phase, they did a good job there. We'll see if they can do it again. Envy, they picked the map, they picked the mode. We're going to be right back after this short break. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. So far, Vicky, the playoffs, they are living up to the hype. And right now, Sentinels, they did not just team fight. They assembled like they are in person in the boot camp. We saw it go from in person into the game. Insane first match there.
Yeah, man. The Guardians of the Galaxy coming through with this res composition on the Mantis. Nectar going absolutely crazy. Crimzo popping off, only like dying twice. This team is looking great, leading to their strengths right now.
Yeah, directed from James Gunn himself. Just great job from start to finish. And if you're Envy, we've been seeing Mantis bands that handle the triple res. Maybe they go that direction, but, that's not against Kurova, so maybe they go with the Atom. I don't think Sentinels is going to change anything. Crimzo, Crimzo only dying twice is just so much insane pressure. And then you've got to deal with everybody coming back and then focusing on where Kurova is. There's so much to track, but it's not going to work the exact same in this next game mode. Domination is, I would say, the best that triple res does play on. So maybe they do adjust, maybe they don't.
Yeah, I'm wondering what second map we're going to be moving on right now too, because if you do want to get that focus ban, Kurova being that like #1 Adam Warlock player, you can try to toss that already out the window. We know that Rymazing has a plethora of different hero pool to work on, and to work with rather. And seeing now Crimso's survivability, the Captain America, also highlights why they saved that pick.
Yeah, and listen, we saw Techie. They lost. They got out. They came back swinging. And Envy, I know that this team, they scrim a lot, they practice a lot, they have so much going for them. And if you're just now coming in and you're watching maybe the group stage and the playoffs, you might be like, okay, I haven't seen a lot from Envy. This team was on a run for the ages that we've seen within rivals so far, and so just it's crazy to see the results thus far, and we could get a FlyQuest Envy lower bracket first round.
That would be insane, but I'm not surprised with the way that playoffs is already onto the start that we have thus far. FlyQuest falling down to that lower bracket. Tech EXD smiling, seeing Sentinels taking game number 1 in a best of 3 is very important to highlight. We have to keep reiterating this coming out of group stage, where at the very end of a lot of our final matches, they were best of 5. See the ban hovering over the Emma Frost, because even if they do want to try to do target bans and the Captain America ends up being a problem, guess what? We know that Techie is a very strong Emma Frost too.
Yeah, absolutely there. Again, Human Torch, yeah, just going out. Love the callback to Ryan Mazing's game on Black Panther. Now they're just all floating it, and they're locked and ready as we've got our first save on the board. And instead of Magneto this time around, it looks like they're going to go and swap things over to Emma. Definitely a smart play there, Speeder, although hovering it, not going to play it. But I like the change up at least here.
And now gonna be able to get the next ban onto the Magneto. You won't be able to deal with it twice back to back, and now the save to follow up here on the Captain America. Wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, Master Magnetism being banned, but they do have the Hellfire Queen and Emma, and there it is again. I love it. I mean, just seeing Captain America take, what, 3 nerfs and 3 back-to-back back patches. I mean, it's crazy that they elect to keep on just doing the motto of doing it all day with Crimzo. And looks like they're going to get the same Loki ban, and we're probably going to see the triple res ban towards the end if we do see it.
Yeah, Captain America, he's alive and he's here to play. I just think it's so great to be able to see the diversity of compositions of these players, not only leaning to these strengths, but then these specific target bans as we hover over the Psylocke and the Storm on the other side.
Yeah, we got Psylocke going down. Man, it's great. The Psylocke ban especially is just really showing the respect they have there, and Nectar playing lights out at it. Both Flyers yet again shut down for Speedery, and sometimes for these, really solid teams with great talent, all you got to do is to shut down their best player to really open up the rest of the field, and that's what we're seeing here from Sentinels. They're going to get the Punisher save, though. I like it.
I really also think it's interesting to consider that before today, Psylocke has not been banned a single time before today. In our first series, though, that's when we first saw it. Now we get to keep seeing it being a tradition, it looks like, that teams lean towards when it comes to these really strong duelist players that know how to play to the strengths. And now the Magneto ban here.
Yeah, triple res is going to be opened up. They elect to get rid of some of the key powerhouses and vanguards. I like the Punisher, because I think they might let Window play Groot here, and then you've got, the source of damage to burst through those walls potentially is the route they're going to go. But, the Wolverine, the Groot save, I think they're going to go with the Groot save, and that's probably smart. They've got the Punisher, though, to go against that. And so in reverse here now, you've got a lot of options. You can go with any of the key strategists if you want to float that, but right now they seem pretty confident that they don't care what strategist Envy plays, and we might see that highlighted. Maybe Luna goes here.
Okay, I like that option, because if you let the Emma Frost go by out here and then you have to consider like the Psylocke together, mental projection, that's a lot of burst damage coming out, on top of the fact that you have to worry about these Groot walls and the Emma Frost kick combo.
Yeah, Nero getting 70% accuracy for Luna, combined now with the 24 seconds of invincibility. That's going to be tough to match, and definitely a little risky to leave out there. But hey, Crimson knows what he's doing under the coach seat there. I think they're going to adjust to the fly comp. Ryan Mason, we saw this before. Ryan Mason loves to switch over to this Ultron instead of doing the torch, and gives that duty over to Nectar.
Talk about the flexibility from Ryan Mazing. If it isn't the Black Panther, the torch up in the sky, you got another flyer out here being on that strategist role, Ultron, as we move over to Convoy for our second map.
Yeah, I mean, Asgard's a fitting spot. Look at the way the poll has tipped now. 70%, leading 27, hanging on there for Envy in terms of predictions. And hey, right now predictions, they mean nothing. We've seen that before, but so far so good for Sentinels, and we'll see if they carry on. Asgard, though, is where a lot of gods battle. We have 2 Goliaths, 2 rival gods going at it as we kick things off. Now, first team here, Envy on offense to Sentinels defense.
Nectar flying in the skies together with Ryan Mazing. You saw the Ultron, you see the torch. Techie also trying to match that, being on the Groot. Compared that to Window as Speedery takes the skies on the Star-Lord.
Yeah, keep in mind we're going to see more Star-Lord than we did last week because of the buffs that this patch just came with. He has a little bit more of that mid-range damage where a lot of the damage comes in handy to get that ult all the faster and just really punish the opponent. Now we got Amazing playing from the back here. This is going to be the battle of the skies who can control the airspace. Techie, not seeing a lot of group from him. Going to be excited to see what he can do.
I think it's going to even be better when it comes to trying to shut down Speedery approaching being on that Star-Lord instead. And that's, of course, with no Adam instead here, too. But the slicing, the follow-up here from Nero allows themselves to get the Nectar as the first pick here for Sentinels.
I'm telling you, Luna might as well be, more of a duelist than a strategist when in the hands of Nero, especially on this map. I've seen it time and time again. Cal, a lot more lethal here on the Wolf as well, but going to make it, honestly, hell for Techie that we typically see Crimzo play that Groot, though. Nectar already coming back here. They've got themselves triple Vanguards that's going to feed into the Wolverine. Amazing getting the Extermination out early to get that poke, and Kurova capitalizes and gets Cal out early on the fight.
And building into that Strangling Prison here, too. Window, though, goes crazy with these group walls and with Speedery, even with just 15 HP, just trying to hail from above. But you can't deal with that when you have to worry about the Eternal Bomb from Aramori.
Yeah, great group hug there, but unfortunately unable to get everything connecting, and the portal back came in handy. Cal has a lot of pressure on him now with 3 Vanguards. Can he get the kidnaps that he needs? Can he get the damage out there? And can Amazing stay alive through the onslaught that is going to be Speedery on Star-Lord? Crimzo getting that early pressure. Love the Captain America play into this.
As really quickly here, the Strangling Prison, though, the wall from the other side, but the Eye of Agamotto is the insurance policy that they needed to find 3. It takes care of Cal and Speedery in the process, and this is with Month having the fate of both worlds off the copy on the Luna, so it's a wasted ult here, forcing Envy all the way back from the pressure off of Nectar and the Agamotto.
They are just playing lights out. He opened the eye and the enemy saw nothing but darkness. And at this moment, it's crazy that the flexibility from this team, it seems like anyone could play just about any hero at this point. One of the beautiful things about Rivals here, as now with only 1:42, Envy's got to get this thing together.
It's gonna be hard when you have to split your attention onto the fire up in the air. Amazing taking a different angle. Kalujo that does have that psionic seduction, but they have to break through these walls. They have to break through the Doctor Strange shield instead, and they have to look behind them at the Captain America now trying to approach.
The coach that he is, he assembles his Avengers as he pushes forward now, and they're gonna match the Groot ult back. And can they get the eliminations with the Berserker Rage up and out? But no, Nectar gets the melee whip into Logan.
Off to the face of the Nectar. They provide enough of that output here to deal with Cal, and now you have to worry about the heavens because Speedery is hailing from right above Amazing's head. Techie meets their demise as Windows gets the follow-up, and it's going to be a nice swipe for Envy, and with just less than a minute on the clock to get this first checkpoint.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a seal. Crimzo could probably get back there. They don't have a portal. Crimzo running for his life, but probably, oh yeah, he's going to be able to touch, and that's going to be massive. Just trying to line it up right. Look at this, the fire parade. Okay, they're going to back up here. Let that first cap go. They've got 3 minutes now to get this second one. Not an easy point.
And Peter Quill like, all right, that's what I thought here, Steve Rogers. Got to back away real quick while we control this next corner, but Nectar in disguise over to this torch now. Kalush has that psionic seduction once again.
Yeah, here, like the double flight, they had a kind of temporary change into that Doctor Strange. Played it well, but getting back to the basics here. Window has got that Emperor's Entanglement coming up. This is going to be a huge team fight win if they can grab it. It's going to be 2 fights minimum here to get around the corner. And here comes, and they're opening it up. Kalush with the Emo ult, but the Supernova's out, Vicky.
Good cover, getting on the line of sight of the Psionic Seduction too, just in case, and to get enabled to with the boosted power-up of the damage output here with the Luna Snow. Kurova being able to allow them to hold all the way forward, gets the follow-up as Amazing gets that finishing blow.
They've got to have a fire extinguisher at the boot camp, but because Nectar is just absolutely popping off right now, especially on the torch, shutting down Kalush as the ult begins. I mean, that is rough waters for Envy. I said it last week. Envy's looking more like Inti, and we're seeing that here on now this map.
Oh, they assemble, though, to rally the troops together. The Freedom Charge is going to be answered by the Fate of Both Worlds, though. The Strangling Prison, in terms of the Extermination now, to follow up. That was off of a month, but they have the delay now, as Nero also has the Fate of Both Worlds, just to start with this re-engagement, and that's going to be the counter to the Legendary here from the sky. The Speedery, rather, is going to try to force Sentinels around that next corner.
Yeah, the Turtle Bond coming out, keeping everybody up, but Techie does fall. Supernova is trying to go up, but out, and wow, what a response there from Cal and the pressure, but nope, those tornadoes, nothing can stop them. The weather report is, oh my God, out with the dive.
Did someone call for a fly swatter? I mean, I know it's the summer, but Cal coming in and the follows from Month to get that final blow there was huge to allow Envy now to cover this next corner.
I mean, we've just seen it. The animal off the leash before. It happened with Techie. It's happening now. Wolverine can just absolutely put the entire team to play on their back. Cal, great jobs with the kidnaps and great jobs with the finals. As now we look to get reset. Now 56 seconds. Sentinels, they have nothing in the bank. Kurova getting close to the fate of both worlds. That's going to help them stall a bit, but he's got to farm it.
Oh, before jumping down though, having to reset real quick as Raimazing looks to their back together with Kurova, who does have that fate of both worlds. A psionic seduction though coming in allows Kurova to keep everyone from Sentinels alive here, as Envy don't really have their own strategist ultimates to work off of this extermination, and Month goes down after getting so close to the God of Mischief. This is going to be a team fight win in favor for Sentinels.
Oh, just so much to handle at once. You've got to deal with the fate of both worlds, keeping the entire team up. Raimazing up in the sky with extermination going on full DPS mode. Forget the healing. Let's just put the pedal to the metal, trying to now snipe out Cal. 15 seconds left. This team's going to have to try to now just get themselves together if they want to have a point in a match better than what they've had.
Less than 5 seconds now on the clock. They have to make their moves here. The portal is going to be able to come right out, and you can see the setup already with the AMER shield before diving in, but they don't get there on time. And that was up for the diamond form to try to get the choke immediately right through the portal, just in case to touch a toe on that point.
I mean, I honestly just completely shocked. Sentinels, they look like they're just playing perfectly in Envy. I mean, some stuff was there, but it just never really felt like it was together.
Yeah, there was a lot of times, though, that they were calling out Cal being on that Wolverine here, too. So I feel like combine that together with just, what, 1 or 2 kidnaps that we basically saw. That's the playmaking ability that you want to lean into that win condition that really wasn't able to get much done.
Yeah, and listen, Envy made it all the way up through the upper bracket to then go down to the lower. I mean, for them to go down to lower brackets twice, again, this could be it for us to see FlyQuest and Envy, one of those teams not making it to LAN. I think both could have been favored to go of the 3 teams. This is already something different than what we've seen in the making as we look at the stats. And Nectar, I just cannot commend him enough of the effort that he's putting out there.
Dude, 3 spots only for Americas to make it into LAN. $250,000 prize for first place. Get $70,000, and second place is here with $35,000. That's literally a $35,000 money match. It's so much on the line here, and this is a best of 3 to start off our playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, oh, Nectar just server admin at the moment. Absolute crazy. Month doing a great job down there in terms of both the damage and the healing as we exit and zoom out from a statue and onto the battlefield. Vicky, this is it for Envy, or they're sent to the lowers.
Let's see. Sentinels now got to kind of clear their space right in front of them. They could taste victory as Kaluj, being on this Emma Frost consistently around these brute walls too, gets the choke slam before sending them out against the payload. Gets that 1 KO just to start things up against Techie.
Yeah, showing off those diamond forms and how it can carry hard as now Techie getting eliminated fast and the team having to reset. Great opening and confidence here from Envy as Crimson trying to get away. They get the stagger there as well. Great start.
No harder when you have the Captain America having to push out of this attack spawn door and having to wrap around to find the backline of Envy specifically, leaving really Techie as the sole vanguard to hold the front line to control some of that space.
Yeah, the first strategies on the last point there looked like Atalu trying to pilot this team using, oh my gosh!
Oh,
okay, Nectar trying to get the pressure in early. And everybody in the room, this is not what we want to be.
They're fighting for their life. The copy, though, allows the reset, at least for right now. The peel from window right behind them after seeing that they needed help from Month. Getting that copy allows the strangling prison to just force off the backline.
This team is very solid on defense and just absolutely putting on a clinic for defensive efforts here as both teams just finding, oh, we've got Raimazing in the back here, forcing the lanterns out and putting the pressure in the back line. He does get the pick on Nero, now looking for the Loki.
They have to expend everything, though, while you have to worry about Kaluj and the psionic seduction from the front lines. Now Aramori moving in with the Eternal Bond deals so much of the damage that they needed with that Eternal Bond and the follow-up together here with Techie, and they didn't have to expend all their ultimates, just really the Ultron and the Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, full commit there, full belief, full control. Great job there getting the first bit of the point. But man, 2 minutes now remaining. We've got the portal back, potentially the run back, and this is going to be a tough fight here. But Sentinels have everything they need here. They're going to go maybe instantly into the group hug of Groot. It is, yes, and together with the supernova, Nectar rains down. All the ults coming out. Nero trying to keep the team up. The beats are dropping here for both teams. Let's see which one lasts longer as the headliner, Vicky.
I was going to say, don't swap off that healing output because Nero is taking so much damage from Nectar right there too. They left Nectar one. Nectar backs away in time. Here comes the copy with the Loki instead. It is this time though, it's not in the form of Fate of Both Worlds. It's with the extermination here on the other side as the follow-up here rather from Speedery. Looking at Monk, who still has that copy available. Looking at Sentinels, and now they're going to be able to try to stay alive.
We just saw Human Torch carry so much in the group stage. They banned it against Speedery, but Nectar is doing a great job here, even though he was just eliminated by the former Sentinel in Kaluge there. Now we've got Window, who did just ult to try to get some momentum rolling for the team. 1 minute left. We can see it in the players' faces. They're calm, cool, collected. Extermination coming out here, trying to get that back elimination. Dude, they do get the lanterns out. Instead of Kaluge with the pop.
But you've left your backline vulnerable. Yes, you keep trying to take these flanking angles with the extermination. You force up these lamps, but now you have no sustainability with Rymazing being the only sole support alive.
Yeah, I mean, they give Rymazing that permission to be that DPS Ultron, but yeah, in situations like that, you definitely need a little bit more backline protection there. Looking at the ults, everything's ready for both teams. We've got triple tank on the side of Envy. The follow-up there, really not a lot of damage, just more sustain with this team. They don't have a pure duelist there to keep things going, but there's the supernova, but they've got the defenses to hold.
You've got 3 tanks, no Wolverine insight though, but you got the freedom charge from Crinzo followed up with Korova and the Fate of Both Worlds. A strangling prison, both from each side, over these walls, over the damage output, the dance off between that and Nero Cow getting stunned just temporarily. It's the matchup between Crimzo and Cow, and Monk is about to get the reset on the God of Mischief.
Oh my god.
Nice!
Out. Techie though with the big on Mudra. Amazing to follow up with the quick switch to Bucky. And at this point, they're kept alive as overtime just has a sliver on it. There's going to be one more fight for this though, Vicky.
But they can't find Cal because they can't get off the point. Overtime ticking away as the Envy may look to re-engage.
I mean, my gosh, somewhere a graphics card just gave up. There was so much pumped out there for this last bit of point as overtime ticking down. You can see Envy, the red line, the outline as they push in. The Groot walls, though, nice job, but they get the touch, 3.82.
What? Literally just a few little meters away. Overtime now taking away as the re-engage comes out, but they've lost out on Cow, who was the first one there. The Groot walls put up here by Techie, just trying to box out Envy, but you have to consider the extermination from Speedery now. It dealt so much damage. Techie needs help, but there's no survivability. There's no strategic ults to keep Sentinels alive.
Not just overtime, this is legacy timing where heroes shine and Envy gets a huge defensive effort. Guys, we had so many 2-0s. How about some 2-1s? And we're into it now as Envy get a great win off, and this is going to be close, Vic.
Buckle up, everyone. We're out here for a ride. I expect nothing less when it comes to our playoffs week here, Cozy. And it looks like we really are going the distance now. 1-1 situation between Sentinels and Envy.
Just insane. Just composure, courage, clutch. All 3 Vanguards, 3 supports. Who needs a duelist? Everybody's locking duelists in competitive ladder. Well, here with Envy, they're going to share the love. And it's crazy that they were able to get the eliminations with no key combo, no key damage output. Looking at it, look at Window's performance, Vic.
Dude. 3 Vanguards, 3 support. Window with the Groot with 34,000, 7 final hits, like the 52,000 damage blocked. I mean,
Window again. I've seen this man pump out some crazy stats on Groot and the flexibility. Again, Kaluge, we've seen him kind of swap over to Mag lately, but he is such a good Doctor Strange. We saw it right then and there as the team just fully felt kind of, they were feeling like themselves once again, and it was at the hands of the Vanguards this time.
And this is with swaps, right? Because I believe we saw Speedery originally roll out with the Star-Lord, yeah, as you can see right here, and then making that swap over to the Ultron after they also adjusted. Had Cal on the Captain America, they had the Doctor Strange, Window obviously rolling out with the Groot, but this is a composition that you had to make literally on the fly just to try to readjust midway through trying to recontest.
Yeah, we got Cal like Captain America. Like, it definitely wasn't probably in the game plan, but you know, I got to give it to Envy when they did get out of the group stage. It looks like they definitely tried to go back and come up with some new comps and new strategies. And my gosh, look at that beautiful Hugamoto there from Kaluj. But yeah, got to hand it to the team here. Definitely got creative to put up a nice counter. And if you're Sentinels, we just saw this in the grand finals. The team is all together, but we just saw the reverse sweep happen, right? We've seen teams come back against them. They come out with great momentum, and then it can go right back to them as we look at the MVP.
The Speedery show in the 22 KOs there, 26.4k damage output here too. But Speedery even flexing over to the Ultron, understanding what the game plan needed to change. Kaluj had done something similar. We saw the AMER Frost originally before swapping over to the Doctor Strange just to re-engage, boost up that Eye of Agamotto. Beautiful follow-ups here, allowing Speedery to shine. And I also feel like making those adjustments, this is what I love about Marvel Rivals. Making these changes to then recontest, having the time to recontest, all these little things, they work together to make this work in your favor. Now we get to go the distance for a game 3.
Yeah, I mean, that top play, that's when coaches come in handy. That's when really just the experience does. And, you know, we talked to Tech and they're like, we didn't think we would win, and we did. These teams, they expect to win, right? And you know that they want to make land so bad. And so both these teams just leaving it all out there. The ride in the upper bracket certainly a bit easier than the lower, especially when your opponents can be FlyQuest, Techie in the upper. But hey, they're no slag off either. We saw what they can put out today. All I know is match 3. This is what you want in the playoffs. You guys aren't going anywhere, let's face it. But we're going to take a quick break to reset, reload. We're going to see you in just a second. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. I mean, to open up the playoffs, Vic, we've got 2-2-1 matches, and this is exactly what I expected to see here because of how good and how these teams are and how small just the errors between them are. For me, personally, what I saw there is one team in Envy able to adjust well mid-match, whereas Sentinels, they really go into the match with a great battle plan, but a little bit tougher to get things going mid-match.
And the MVP touch from Cal too, like on that Captain America, just allowed a whole re-engagement too. So that was insane in terms of the timing. It was like a 0.3 meter touch, and that is what completely just changed the course right now of the series.
Yeah, and with only best of 3, right? It's like momentum now. Again, we said this last time, but both teams kind of know what it takes to get it out of them. And they allow triple res this time around, and it's just not as big of a threat, right? Because it's just different on the game mode. And yet again, we head into Central Park, kind of bit of a mirror for the maps that we've seen so far, but this one always just has so much stakes to it. The grand stairway, the first point cap, it's got it all, and I'm excited to see these two teams clash with it.
And this is also a really good map when it comes to the Groot, right? And Techie, yes, we highlighted a lot of window, but Techie blocked like 72,000 damage in that last round. That also highlights the damage output that we were currently seeing from the triple Vanguard, triple strategist just lineup. But Techie obviously being able to work around these Groot walls too. Yeah, and they've been letting Nectar have Human Torch. This is such a good map for him. Like, I feel like that wasn't in their game plan. So it has me. I'm going to be curious if Envy, maybe they allow the Psylocke, although that's another good map for the character. So it's going to be tough to see what they go with in their game plans in it. All I know is they're great at adjusting throughout it. And the Vanguard level of play was near perfect on the side of Envy. Here's the thing with Sentinels. They didn't even play bad, too, Vicky. They played great that last match. Yeah, they did. I'm thinking, like, honestly, man, is today, like, just me seeing... I've always known, but me seeing the issue of resets of Loki and the lamps against just being able to stay alive consistently. You have to worry about Nectar making some swap-ups, whether Nectar was on the torch, whether we could even see, like, an Ultron just mirror in this example. You have to still deal with these lanterns. And it's just so much stall potential. Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. I think going into that map, that was the first thing I highlighted. I'm like, wow, they just gave Nero Luna, and they're going to have Luna Loki to go with. That's
such a tough, I mean, no one wants to go against that, even in as viewers going competitive ladder. It's tough to go against, and giving it to one of the best at it, not easy. And so I'm curious to see if they Sentinels go a bit less kind of speedery duelist focus with their bans and kind of more, okay, let's shut down some of these big threats here, maybe not get rid of the group, whatever it might be, and go with the Luna ban.
Yeah, and are you going to try to keep the Psylocke out here, but then you still have to deal with the Loki? That's why on the opposite side, like, we're not able to see Sentinels utilize the Loki because it keeps getting banned against them. And if it's not the Loki, it's the Psylocke instead there too.
And one thing I know is that this is what I love. We had so much talk going into this week of what we might see from these teams and who might rise, who might fall, and it's just so early in the scene in these teams. Now, what's cool is Sentinels in their boot camp, not only off the win, they can have that electric high that they had, but also they can kind of regroup together, and that's massive to come together as a team and talk with in person. Changes the game here, as Envy obviously going to have to do it, overcomes, but they got the job done on that map. Central Park, though, is going to make the difference, and I've seen Envy play great on this map against a lot of teams. Yeah,
and I feel like we've highlighted, the strength of certain picks that we've seen with these heroes, whether it be the Torch out here too, as well as the Ultron maybe as well. Psylocke being able to have a lot more of these flanking routes. That is also goes hand in hand with the fact that if you do allow Emma Frost to go through, you have the mental projection, so you have even more poke pressure in that sense if you're on the other side, and you could see Envy who have prioritized that Emma Frost too.
Yep, guys, this is Rivals at its best. This is what you've come for, the playoffs. This is the fight for LAN. All these teams want it bad as we head into match number 3. One team is going to be sent to that lower bracket to go against FlyQuest. The other advancing to glory in the upper bracket. Central Park is the location.
Nice little pit stop here to see who will be moving on in this playoffs bracket that has completely thrown everybody around here with game 3 situations. This is what I like to see a high-level Marvel Rivals play, as the Emma Frost and the Torch are the first to go.
Yeah, sticking with the same strategies that we've seen, that Speedery on Torch on this map, you might as well give the L now, so I'm glad that they shut that down right away. Now with the second one going to Magneto, obviously getting rid of those 2 Vanguards. You got to get rid of one outside of AMER or that. And the first save, this is going to show us a lot here. I'm curious with what they go. They're going to just stay with the Captain America. It's been working thus far for the most part.
Is the second one, I'm not too sure if it's going to be Punisher this time around, or maybe it is, considering the fact that when you're on Central Park, it's a lot more of that verticality to get out of these line of sights here. So the Punisher may need to do that final blow with the final judgment just to clear space. But also looking at the other side, the next man is going to be the Loki. So once again, Sentinels unable to play Loki.
Yeah, this is going to tell the story here. They're going to go Storm again. It looks like they're going the double kind of speedery ban route, and then that's going to open up things later. But now you're giving Envy the chance here to respond. This save, I'm curious if they're going to go with kind of the same game plan as before, and getting that access now to Magneto is going to help them a lot here. Last ban, I don't think it'll be for the triple res. I don't think it'll be. Maybe they're going to go with a different route. Last time that they did go, I believe, with that Magneto.
Yeah.
So things have changed up a bit. And look, it's going to be Torch. The respect is shown, Vicky.
All right. So that's the one difference maker. That means that the Punisher still on the table too for them to utilize, since it was the Torch that was prioritized, no doubt about it, as the Groot is going to be the next protector. And this is what I was expecting, especially in that first point when you're trying to hold it down. That Groot, those walls just allow so much separation and damage output and pressure when it comes to trying to isolate your tanks out of the line of sight of the supports.
A little nod there, a little Easter egg for the long fans of Sentinels. Roy Mason used to play an absolute mean, disgusting Moon Knight. I've made a guide with him. I mean, he was so good at the hero in Season 1. I think it's more of a tip of the cap to Khonshu than it is what we're going to see. But hey, with the buff, who knows? Maybe it's a hint for what's to come. But Triple Res is going to be left on the table, and it looks like we're getting just that, Vicky.
It's a really good point. This is what allowed Sentinels to really shine within that first map, although on Domination, we know that res composition really comes through. Now, can it do the same thing, though, on Central Park is the question.
Yeah, I actually like this a lot because, obviously Dom is where it shines the most, but for this first cap, just getting that extra bit of life and passive from it, really going to help them out here in just overall momentum. One team is out, the other is in. The upper brackets as 2 Goliaths clash here in Central Park. And look at the prediction.
Wow. Okay, so this is the tightest we've probably have seen thus far now, introducing the chat predictions. And guys, we are just as split right now looking at the outcome of these last two games. This has been absolutely insane, but the favor going towards Sentinels, just missing 1% shy of 60.
Yeah, listen, both teams have just about equal chances. Both have been here. Both have shown what they have in terms of talent, roster, strategy, coaches. It all comes together in one clash in just a moment as teams get things rolling here. Listen, not even rivals can handle the anticipation of the importance of this map, Vicky.
Now, maybe not even Dracula's Castle out here, too. I love this map, too. The music always makes me jam out. I'm like, who is coming out, throwing out some bangers on this opera solo and getting set up with such an insane matchup right now between two tier 1 orgs to vie for one of the 3 spots in Americas to perform at LAN with the prize pool that we currently have is insane.
And listen, guys, like I said, this whole Rivals map is just trying to prep for what's about to happen here. I mean, there's the graphics cards are getting ready. We just saw it with all the ults. Again, it's like a unicorn just exploded on screen with all the ultimates and the chaos as the game tries to get itself ready to rock for this elite matchup. But hey, pick bans, all that, Vicky's going to stay the exact same. So we know the story going in now, and the story's the same as that first map. It's going to be triple res.
You know what I am afraid of, though? The Psylocke was allowed for Envy. So Speedery will be able to be on that Psylocke together with Kaluj on this Emma Frost was what we were worried about with the poke pressure of the mental projection. Now being able to find its mark. When you have a matchup like that, the res comp, you can't just do it once. Obviously, you have to keep going at it just to make sure that you could win not 1 fight, but like 2 more fights after that.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to, because Sentinels are on defense first, so I'm curious if they're just going to have the triple res for this first kind of hold off, and then as things kind of escalated, they're going to switch and then go into some different comps. But getting rid of that Human Torch this time around, it changes a lot of the strategy, right? Amazing going to that Ultron, Nectar, you know, hovering on the Human Torch. It shuts off, for the most part, that fly comp, and so they're going to have to adapt in different ways. I don't think it's going to be the Black Panther. I think maybe that was just kind of a one-stop shop we saw in the group stage, but either way, it's definitely going to make things a bit different here for the team.
About catching people off guard and it starting in this pick and ban phase too. Of course, we already saw those pick and bans originally before diving into that game. I'm expecting it to stay exactly the same before we finally get started on match number 3, but it's heating up and you could see it. You could see it in Sentinels' faces. You could see the way that Envy's been able to play, adapt around this, and be flexible.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, like I talked about, you've got Kalush, who was on that team, all right, and one day gets the call, and Envy, they got their man. They got who they wanted there, and, you know, it's tough because what has impressed me so much is this team that was kind of this core 6 since the Alpha Sentinels. They were together, they were Nightmare, they had so much practice together, but now you enter in Techie, but not only that, you enter in the replacement who was Super Gomez into Nectar, and as a sub and performing, you know, amazing. And I've got to say, you know, Super Gomez, big shoes to fill. Nectar doing just that. So it's been crazy to see what, you know, the stakes are for this win outside of just the upper bracket.
And Nectar, they've been really good too at just trying to not only adapt around the different comps that they got to throw around, whether it be on the Star-Lord and having to perform like you highlighted in that first game, but also just being the shoe-in that they need. If they need him to flex over to something else, you know, they're right there to do so. And seeing together with the fact that we are going to be playing at Central Park, more of those closer range alleyways to try to approach to that point, that is going to allow a lot of things to happen. And of course, that's why you're seeing the Torch off the table, because playing against Torch in this map, it always feels like you yourself are in the microwave.
Well, he's the ultimate pressure cooker, right? Outside of just a microwave, also just a pressure cooker in the sense of this first point, you're really able to push forward. We saw that with Techie, right? They just held W the whole time and they got that point so fast. It's when you start to kind of stagger and stall and both teams get their ultimates where it makes it a lot more tough to get that point capped. And so I expect Envy to come out here just, you know, guns a-blazing. They won't be able to blaze in the sky. They were Speedery's Human Torch, but they have a lot of other things in their tool belt.
I'm also surprised the respect over to the Storm, them like using a ban against the Storm, against Speedery, when we know Speedery has other options. Combine that with Cal, who will come out probably on the Punisher if you expect to fly around even with Star-Lord up in the skies or putting in the pressure, because then you would have to waste what, like a mag bubble on the ulting Star-Lord. Hopefully Star-Lord could get right back down. The strategist ultimates come in, help the reset to happen, and then the final judgment comes out. Burst through the bubble, is able to burst the Star-Lord ult. So that's probably going to be the retaliation, because we didn't see a Punisher ult for Envy to worry about.
Yeah, and you know what? Kind of like with Techie, how we saw Tap open up Avery's play and then Avery popped off. We got to see that from Cal if Envy does want to get the job done here. What they did so great, and it's funny, same map, so we can talk about it situation for situation. What they did great is they eliminated some of the best strategists in the game in Cooper and Vest. They got, or not Vest, but Cooper and Zealous. They got rid of them every single match, every single fight, and they're going to have to do the exact same thing to the insane duo, the deadly duo of Kurova and Aramori. Guys, you've waited long enough. So have we. One team's gone. Our voices are definitely gone after today, Vicky, as we head into Central Park.
I didn't think I said get ready, buckle up, because for real, not only are we out for a ride, but so are our vocal cords. But that's how you know you got some good Marvel Rivals to cast. We got some 2 good series ready to kick off the playoffs here in the Americas. Game number 3 for our second series. And again, that's just halfway through the day already.
I can't believe we're only halfway through this thing here, and we are ready to go. The teams are locked and loaded, and we've got now Envy. Team colors are wrong here, the defense, the offense. So we do have Sentinels on the offense, something to look out for, and kind of opposite of what we did say leading into. It looks like Envy now on defense.
Oof, that's going to be fun to be able to navigate around here. But looking at Sentinels and the way that they're going to try to force their way over to the other side. Envy here too. Nectar's going to be able to fly up before coming right back in. Kurova though with that big pick onto Window and Nero. And Sentinels, even though after losing out on Kurova though, Crimzo is out here to play.
Yeah, and again, what did I say? The pressure cooker on offense, and what can Captain America do best? He absolutely cooks when it comes to the kitchen, right? So great job there from Nectar in the follow-up, and just the first point collapsing fast here in Dracula's castle.
Oh, the rocket actually like just breaking right apart in front of him before getting right back to the safety, but the damage output coming in. Window being on this Doctor Strange, staying alive after the re-engagement here from Envy.
What? Look at the sliver. I mean, you can't step off a pinky toe on this point as the defense holds. Great job from Window getting that team back with that portal. We have not seen that thus today. Kalush now putting the pressure on Foley with that extended beam from the patch, and a symbol goes Crimzo, but bam goes the Ivangamoto, and he lands it. Pateki gets a trade-off on Month.
As a silent but deadly approach here, it's a trade for trade in this case, and everyone's staying alive in the Eternal Bond. The Psionic Seduction now looking to the skies as Nectar gets caught in the line of sight after trying to use a legendary. Still continues going, still looks to the back, still trying to help heal, as Nectar still at the very end is still finding that pick onto Speedery.
Huge defensive effort there from Kalush, but Nectar in the neutral still able to get the job done as Gale goes up, he goes down, and he slams. But there it is, Kurova with the Born Again getting his Avengers reassembled, the Crimzo at the helm.
Off the ice sculpture freeze there too. Nero, good attempt right there. Speedery backing away instead because Sentinels, as you mentioned already, just one of those toes left to claim this point and get this payload moving. Just so tough, right? You gotta eliminate them not once, which they did twice, and unfortunately unable to do so now as they move forward. Right, amazing on that Mantis we saw play so well in the DOM map on Wakanda. Now they take things to America, into New York, and Nectar just going off right now. Nights right now with the way that Nectar has been able to provide so much of that pressure being on that Star-Lord. They wrap around over to the other side, looking at Month though, swapping over to that cloak before going over to the dagger. Speedery does find Nectar in the process of overextending, and Amazing does have that Mantis ultimate. Yeah, that's Speedery's main job. He's gonna have to focus on Nectar there, and there comes the revive. Passives are used. A symbol is happening there, and Cal does a nice kidnap to not only push it back, but get back to the team as Month throws out the Eternal Bond. The Groodle goes out, and the team follows as they get the wipe on Sentinels. Good window on this Gru is crazy. Crimso's running for their life as with 1 HP gets taken down by Speedery, and Sentinels will be able to at least re-engage with some ultimates. That just changed the momentum massively for the team, and we just saw passives be used, right? Nectar used that passive, so that's going to be important to keep track of here for the Guardians of the Galaxy Cup, and when Envy can win and lose these team fights. Very important to see one. You could get right back into the fight just as fast. Looking from both angles, though, up on this high ground. Techie slowly moves up, being on this Magneto, having that meteor ready to go. But so does Speedery on the Dance of Butterflies. The Legendary up to the sky is going to be able to force out the fate of both worlds.
Yeah, perfect timing for the ults here as Nero does counter that, and Kalush is ready and locked to get the combo in. Nero, though, about to run out of that. Here comes the kneeling of the peasants. Can he get any connections there? Trying to find Nectar up top. Nectar hiding away. Kurobo with a huge pick on Nero, though. This is going to open up the lane.
Oh, and that's the Armor getting caught by the meteor here. Rather, Mark getting caught by the meteor there. It was a double internal bond used from both sides as the survivability is in favor for Sentinels. Kurova with the res won't even be needed until the next fight engagement. And it is Envy now falling down.
Cannot spell clutch without Techie. Insane job there as they get this first wraparound. Probably the hardest part of this point. Obviously, there's going to be at least one more fight. They also have access to the portal yet again. So maybe two. Speeder is just trying to get something going. But those cloak bubbles, the timing, the strategist perfection that we see is happening time and time again. Here comes the Rampaging Cow with the 3, followed with Speedery.
And then the follow-up though coming in, but a huge res. This is everyone's biggest fear when you see the res cup coming in from Kurova. The Adam Warlock player sending everybody to charge on their behalf here. Amazing gets window. They shove all of Envy inside the side room.
Just insane, rewriting Destiny. The script said L and he picked W, but Couch Speedery's still putting on a show, and Speedery's showing why he's so clutch in the duelist position, going off as Psylocke.
That was so big from Speedery because Speedery had the Dance of Butterflies, saw the res. Instead of getting overzealous and press the button, waited for everyone to go in front of their line of sight before pulling the trigger here. As Nectar now with the Legendary once again forces out the fate of both worlds. A meteor needs to find its landing here as it misses.
Nero able to escape Techie, who's been so pinpoint with those meteors. This has been a clutch performance, defensive-wise, ultimate-wise. Cal is going off. That was the missing puzzle piece we said that could carry this game and win. Kalu's trading Speedery as well. There's going to be no resurrection this time as they're going to have to do a full reset with only 47 seconds left.
Less than a minute on the board, and you still have to worry about the Psionic Seduction and the last stand from the Wolverine. This is going to be difficult for Sentinels, but they at least have the Eternal Bond.
I mean, just a ballet of blades over there from Speedery. Insane job. Cal has yet another ult that can just single-handedly get the job done. The Berserker Rage, you just do not want to be caught in it with everything on the line. This is land on the line, the upper bracket on the line, and it's the kidnap to Nectar. What an insane start.
There goes the Eternal Bond, though. The Psionic Seduction 2 from Kaluch to start things off here. Over to the other side, Kurova does have that res, something to consider. Yes, Kaluch falls incredibly low. Now you have the combination of the ultimates and Oromori there with the Eternal Bond coming right out of it. You have to consider the Dance of Butterflies that you also have to worry about, but Ryan Mason comes right back with the res.
He found Kuroba, but Kuroba's the one that gets the trade. Speedery knew what he needed to do. He understood the assignment. Gets both Guardians down. Kurova left, but Kurova with the 1-2 tap.
Everything was unleashed in that moment, and right when the overtime was ticking away, Kurova was there with the clutch.
Oh, goodness. That was so insane. Board again, win again. Insane as Kurova is now able to hang on to this and get the res. So they've got to not only deal with the res, but also the passes that are ready to lock and load. Techie now trying to get up this, or trying to prevent this now. Absolutely insanity from all these teams together as all of them have their ults ready to rock.
You already know the way that Groot is moving forward. You have that Groot wall coming up. You have the Strangling Prison ready to go, and everybody is forced to funnel in together. Unfortunate positioning for Amazing. Even better case for Speedery, but the Born Again comes in to try to win again as Kurova comes in with the rest of Sentinels. Assemble together with Crimzo on the Captain America ult as they try to rage forward. And the final gear too with the fate of both worlds. They have to land this Magneto ult from Techie. He does it this time around, point blank in Nero's face.
LeBron James slam, but then Kalush gets the kickoff and into Techie. Both Vanguards down. The job was done from Techie's in, but my gosh, what a response from Envy.
Wait, Kalush right now? Time is of the essence. You have to jump in right now. They can't just right here. Deal for 10 ticks away. Nectar with the res just allowed the overtime. The Strangling Prison. Nectar single-handedly with 1 HP at least forces us into overtime, but then you have to worry about the Dance of Butterflies.
Oh, like, this is perfection in the making. Kalu showing the carries as hard as a diamond form that is from Emma Frost as they hold strong from what looks like pure momentum, pure destiny for Sentinels there. Insane job.
Switch things up.
How this is an insane game right now. This is crazy with what we're seeing. I am not surprised, but are you not entertained?
The rim was still shaking from the slam dunk of Techie, and somehow, at the last frame, I saw the Vanguards up in the air from Kaluj. You could not. That kick had so much importance. That kick alone could have gotten them into the upper bracket. Job's not finished though. Now they're on the. Now they're having to change things up and see what they can do on the offense side.
Emma Frost. Emma Frost is the reason why this hero has been banned so many times. The command grab into the kick from the choke slam, the follow-ups, especially when you are on that specific point right before the third checkpoint on Central Park. People tend to forget you have that opening right there on the other side of that stairwell there, and not only can you find yourself susceptible to an invisible woman pushing you off the other side, but you can't ignore what Emma Frost can do.
And so many people to highlight here, but look at Nero, 73% on Luna, 35k healing. I mean, this is exactly why he was my strategist of the week. Even though they got out the group stage, what this man can perform, 17 final hits from Speedery. He knows the assignment. He understands what he has to do for this team to move forward. Triple res, once again, Sentinels, they look to hold.
Out for them here on the other side of this defense this time around. Speedery sticking to the Psylocke. Cow being on this Wolverine once again to try to see if they can try to steal a little quick kidnap here before trying to jump over on the other side.
This is for money. This is for legacy. This is for lands. Sentinels, they're all together. They're in the boot camp. Can they hold strong here as one, as both teams now starting to form up this old Nectar now about halfway Nero though to match.
Cal managed to get away though, right on time here. Month is slowly approaching that Eternal Bond in comparison to Aromori. Kurova, Raimazing too, just holding this back angle right by the pillars to help get any sort of peeling.
Yeah, just like the Guardians are so good to push forward and have double lives for defense, it's even harder. NB has to be near perfect as they were in the last match to get things rolling here. Speedery, again, trying to get rid of the biggest threat on the field. That's Nectar. Nectar now trying to get away to that health pack. Is going to claim it. That's going to be massively. They've got the Echoes to pop out the offense. This is going to be close, and it's going to be... Wow! We're just...
No.
Alive. How?
No way. No way, but Nectar gets called out. Speedery got healed from the Luna Snow, it looked like at the very end. The mental projection also dealing a good amount of that damage output too, with the help of the team of the Emma Frost. Right there, though, they're able to take it here on the other side before the portal comes out.
Incredible. 1 health on each. Don't know how they did it. And
wow.
Even with the portal just right there, it's going to be Envy that gets that cap, and they get it fast. They have 5 minutes left. They've got 3 ultimates to go into this with Speedery, who's the deadliest on the team. He's got his ult, the dance of the butterflies to get that backline pick. They got to watch Kurova, 73% on that res. Amazing. They've got the passives. This is going to be close.
Cal getting into position right now. Nectar now into the sky is about to have that legendary. Found out Cal was forced to drop down to the low ground here. Here comes a legendary from Cal as they hail from the damage output here. No kidnap here from Nectar as he avoids Cal trying to contest them. And now the Eternal Bond, the Strangling Prison, bringing all the Sentinels together.
I mean, Envy does not want 3 losses in a row. Sentinels don't want back-to-back reverse sweeps. One of those are going to happen here as Kaluj is pushing forward with this Ionic Seduction. We've got the up and the down and the slam dunk once again on Nero. This is the same that we just saw, but as we see, Speedery going on with the dance of the butterflies. No connections, but Nectar trading instead.
And better here for Sentinels after pushing up with the Mantis ultimate too. Finding pick after pick is Raimazing and Crimzo as a dynamic duo.
Just look at the calm, cool collection of Raimazing's face. He has not even moved an inch here with so much on the line. Kurova, he's in his spot. He's in the res spot, the golden god. The man, he's done it 100 times. He'll do it again. Let's see if Speedery can find him.
Cal coming in with the Wolverine ultimate. Kurova with the res ready to go. Nectar, by the way, with another legendary. Talk about the damage output. Tries to get the kidnap again. Misses out. This is literally a game-winning situation that Cal needs to land. And here comes a legendary that comes in because the kidnap wasn't successful.
Yeah, both Vanguards down is going to force Korova to get the reses up. He gets 3 with that. Again, born again, win again is the motto. It could be a 5-minute hold. They have 3 minutes left. Nectar trying to get that poke in the neutral, and they used a lot Envy. Now, only with Cal's ult, they do have a group hug, group hug coming up here in just a moment, but it's not going to be right now as both stagger. That's a massive win there for Sentinels.
Chipping away at the time bank that Envy currently have. Less than 3 minutes, but that's how you start things off. You get desperate to try to re-engage the Eternal Bond now from Envy to hold forward to try to capitalize off of Crimzo getting the first to get taken down as Amazing answers back with this Mantis ultimate.
Yeah, Sentinels using everything in their tank. This isn't the fight that Envy's going to win. They just need to sustain and then win it back with the ultimates that they're gaining now. And there is the Groot ult coming from window. And they capitalize. They do get AMER, who does trade with Nero. That's going to be a 1-for-1. And there is the Psylocke ult. And Techie just trying to grab air, but he can't as Kaluz finishes the job. And at this point, the pressure continues. And oh my gosh, got in the symbol from Crimzo. And he fell.
He did right there. And the other side there too, you have to think about Amazing, who's trying their best with Crimzo going out without the freedom charge. This is just now built up momentum for Envy to try to claim this next checkpoint.
The saddest Infinity War movie you've ever seen. I mean, just the sim and then nothing comes from it. Window with the block off there. Beautiful job as Nectar, who just seems to be farming these as like an ability. Another legendary up in the sky, but we do have Techie raining down. It does not connect. That's huge for Nero.
That is huge. That deletes the opportunity for that win condition to allow the Psionic Seduction instead, and the sustainability to keep them in this fight. But so does this with the res. Welcome back, Korova says here. Techie still taking a good amount of damage. Amazing was so close to that Mantis ultimate, using it despite Korova going down.
The Divine Revive, he does it again. Oh. Speedery able to get that hit off. Korova is going to come back.
SOS, help Mantis. The damage output's too much to deal with here. Although with Envy losing out on Nero and Speedery, this is the opportunity to lose out on Month next year too. Amori coming in with that Eternal Bond as Cal just continuously keeps slicing.
It's crazy right now. Envy's playing near perfect, but you have to get rid of 4 different eliminations. You have portals, you have res, you have passives. There's not much more you can do. 5 minutes now has dissipated Vicky into one team moving forward to the upper bracket.
This looks like a whole circus, the way that we're seeing both these teams juggle to the highest level right now between the passives, between following up with these ultimates. As you can see, Crimzo up on this high ground with the Freedom Charge ready.
Legendary, there's nothing to match it. This is going to be huge. It's going to, there's nothing they can match. There goes Cal. That's a huge pick, and there's going to be nothing but a cloak bubble to try to keep things going for this team. Nectar now trying to get the pressure on. 30 seconds left. They're all just trying to hide at this moment.
That's literally game-winning first pick, by the way, because Cal goes down without using the last stand. Now you have less than 25 seconds as a forced reset, and Sentinels back away.
Okay, we've got Speeder and Cal viewers with the ults. You have Nero now going to the portal. He's going to get everybody on point. Window can collapse with the group hug that they can get everybody into at once. They have no support ults now. They probably have passives. Korova close to that born again. We'll see how long he can stay in this fight. Amazing is going to be right there too. These picks are going to matter. 3 seconds left. This is the fight. This is the fight for the legacy.
And they use the portal for a shield to start things off as the Dance of Butterflies is activated first. It's found Techie, it's found Nectar, and now they have the number advantage in their favor as Crimzo goes down next. Yes, you get the respawn opportunity here, but they have nothing to deal with this group hug. As you mentioned, Amazing gets a Mantis ult at the very end, and you're still using it to stay alive to keep Nectar in this fight.
Absolute chaos here in perfection as Korova's coming back. Month is thrown down to 0.99 meters. This is what you've come here for. And Ignite living up to the name and a fiery finish. Cal getting the pick there on Amazing, but born again. There's been time to get that back. Absolute insanity as everybody's here. Techie can get the huge pick, and he does.
Oh, and the Nectar follows up here too. No sustainability off, no bond here from the Cloak and Dagger. You completely annihilate that. Overtime ticking away. Sentinels down to the wire. Hold them back.
5-minute hold. Celebrate. Call it destiny. Call it plot armor. It's done. They advance in the upper bracket, taking Envy for their 3rd straight loss and down to the lowers to face FlyQuest. Are you kidding me?
I want to see those cams. I want to see the pop-off in the room, IRL. I need to see it. That was absolutely insane work from Sentinels. The re-engage off of the res from Korova. The stun that we saw onto Cal from the Mantis. Look at this.
50 limbs, 48 from What is this, man? This is better. This what Kevin Feige can put together. I'm telling you, absolute cinema out there from every single player. Both teams need to hold their head high, and it's so unfortunate that there had to be a loser in this, because that was dang perfection. I'm trying to hold myself back with what I want to say. I mean, that was insane.
That was honestly, I feel like I always say this every time you and I come up out here to cast as we proceed through this tournament in general, but that has to be one of the best Marvel Rivals at the highest level that I've been able to see.
It's just crazy because Envy, they played so well, but you can't stop the passives, the reses, and the way you stop it, Vic, is in the ban phase, but they let them have it, right? Like, that's part of the strategy. You can't stop. No matter how well you play, it's got to be pass perfect, and they just could not do enough, even with that opening from Speedery from the portal. I can't believe it.
Even with Window blocking out like 66k damage, Techie with that huge Magneto shield, by the way, onto Rymazing to help enable the Mantis and the Mantis ult and survivability against the onslaught of pressure and scariness from Kalush being on this Emma Frost. Literally every time I see that diamond form, tears well up in my eyes as I try to just build up as much space as possible. But then you have to consider the res comp. Yes, you take care of them once, but guess what? You got to do it all over again.
I mean, it's just Kurova had the I mean, this is what you get when you play Adam Warlock non-freaking stop. The guy knows the perfect time for the reses, for the clutch plays. Nectar getting that MVP yet again, had it on map 1, now both their wins, but every single person on that team deserves it. I mean, every pixel mattered, every move could have been the one, and they made it. I can't believe it. What a finish after the reverse sweep. Dude, I just can't wait to celebrate with this team.
Dude, 40k damage. They came out with 17 final hits on top of it all. Yes, we saw a lot of these players falling like flies, by the way. Like, if you see the survivability from both sides, that's the highlight of the res comp. They just come back like an endless wave of zombies, and it's non-stop.
The only way I could describe it is like I've seen like in the NFL, it's like one team is just like you think they have everything to win. There's nothing they could have done better to get the result they wanted, and they didn't get it. And the fans are just left, like Envy fans are just like, what else could we have done at that point? Like Envy, they're telling me, what else could we have done? It wasn't enough. In Sentinels, they got the job done against one of the best in America to advance. Vicky, it doesn't get better than that.
That was so good. Maybe trying to snipe out the Star-Lord in the sky with your Wolverine a lot more consistently, but then, getting pocketed by a Magneto bubble. Like, this was just great play all the way around from both these teams.
I knocked an energy drink all over my desk. I was losing it. I couldn't believe what I just saw. I mean, my mouse is covered here. Guys, I just talked to her last week on the podcast I run here, and now we've got her again. AMER is in for the winner's interview, and we get to our first look on the boot camp as we welcome her in. Are you kidding me, AMER? What the? I barely know where to begin. Me and you, we just... I can't imagine. I can't imagine. One of the craziest finishes that we have seen. We've seen you guys put out crazy performances with triple reses before, but that one might have been the king of them all. I mean, how is it with your team being all together for the first time?
Oh my gosh, the energy is like nothing else. Like, when people say boot camp buff, like, they mean it. Oh my gosh, the energy is so good. Like, I don't know. I really love my team, and I'm really happy we got to spend this week together. It's really, really cool, and we're improving so quickly. And, if somebody misplays, we can just punch them now. Which is awesome.
That's true, actually. You can't run away from that. No screen to hide behind either when you try to just brush off if it's your fault or not. I just have to ask, I mean, yeah, the energy, the vibes must be super high, but how did it sound? How loud was it in that room when you guys won at the end?
Okay, it actually kind of scared me. Like, everybody was screaming, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I knew we won, and I was yelling too, but I was like, whoa, it's so loud right now. Yeah, it was great.
Can you hear it through, the headphones? But then also, it's not like those are doing anything, because I'm sure just the loudness outside of the headphones also, just everything coming in, double comms echoing throughout. I mean, you guys coming off the grand finals, playing so well, unfortunately faced that reverse sweep to come back to this moment. I mean, what was it like? Because you guys got together a couple days ago, right? Like, what have you guys been doing in the meantime just to lock in as this team?
I mean, we've been trying like a ton of things, and I think what last weekend, was it last weekend? I think so, made us realize was that we needed to just play to our strengths. And obviously, you know, like res comp is one of our strengths. I'm not saying it's our only strength. We have a lot of things that we feel really comfortable on playing. And yeah, we just realized play to our strengths, learn how to give them a butt whooping, and that's what we've been doing. And I think it's been working really, really well for us.
Yeah, you guys, you know, didn't have the Atom ban actually towards you guys. It was the Emma Frost, it was the Loki, and it was the Sidelock. So we're seeing a lot more target bans now as we progress through the playoffs. You say that wasn't, you know, your only trick, and without revealing everything else too, after what happened last week, can you walk us through some of the changes that you guys made as a team to help be flexible?
Yeah, so I think, how do I say this without giving away too much? I think we all each have heroes that we're really, really good on, and so making sure we can get those and play those are really, really important, which is why like we ban and save what we do, and it's working really well for us. And Crimzo is crazy. Crimzo and our analyst Annex have like spreadsheets that's just like, okay, if they ban this, if they first save this, like we're gonna do this, and it's crazy. And I just kind of like sit there and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's smart. And I hands off the keyboard, like they can handle that. I don't know what's going on with all that.
One of the main things I highlighted was just Crimzo at the helm of just that strategy. Yeah, the analysts there, just great job. You guys always feel like you're so prepared to go into each match, right? We see that in sports, certainly in esports, has such an advantage going in. One of the things I highlight is, yeah, your team, it was like the triple res team. And then it's like now you guys have so many different faces, and that has helped y'all just propel yourself to a new level. I've got to know, everybody meets, you know, for the first time. What was the funniest, you know, interaction? What was the I mean, you guys have been playing together almost a year now, if not more. It's give me a peek behind the curtain. What has been some of the funnest things to come out of there?
I mean, it's crazy just like seeing everybody in person, but I mean, I don't know, funniest interaction. I don't think we've had like one good moment, but as soon as like we got to where we are, we went to an aquarium together. We just kind of like hung out all day, and it was really special. It was really fun. I've been literally, okay, if you think about it, I've been on this team for over a year, like since the alpha of Marvel Rivals, which I know the game hasn't been out that long, but to me it has been, right? So I've been on a team with these guys for like a year, and I'm like, wow, you are real people. Like, oh my gosh, I can hold your face. Like, oh my goodness. So it's just a really cool experience. It's like getting to see your friends for free because Sen is paying for it. So that's awesome.
Armor, you're great to talk to, honestly. I've been a big fan watching your journey thus far, and it's been so fun to see what you guys have been able to provide here. And now, Sentinels get to move on, and you guys get to play against one of your favorite teams, actually, when it comes to Techie XD facing off against you guys. How are you feeling about that upcoming matchup?
Oh, I think we're super excited. Like, obviously, those guys are good friends with, you know, Techie and I would say, like, Nectar overall. So, yeah, I think we're excited. We've scrimmed them a bunch, and I actually think they started pretty low, like, in terms of, like, how well they've been playing, but they just keep improving and keep improving. And, you know, I could say scrim diff because we're the ones that have been playing them the most consistently, but I am looking forward to playing them. I think it'll be a really close match, and I think it'll be really fun. And also, there's some Techie on Techie action, so who can be mad at that?
I mean, just absolute cinema in the making. And I gotta say, I mean, first of all, thank you personally for my voice being gone after this, because I left it all out there on the field. That was just the match of the ages. I want you guys to celebrate, party hard, maybe not too hard. You got your next matchup tomorrow, but either way, just so, you know, happy for the team, and give just my the biggest applause to everybody over there. Right, amazing. Korova, Crimzo, the new subs in with Techie and Nectar, and what they've been able to do. Insanity. Go celebrate the win. Thanks so much for coming on, Mori.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Awesome. I can't. Incredible job.